Hi, everybody. My name is Liberty Collinson, and today I want to share something personal but also very important, the stage of life called emerging adulthood. This is that time where we're no longer teenagers, but we're not quite fully adults yet. For many of us, it's a mix of excitement, uncertainty, and self discovery. I chose this topic because at the age 20, I'm living through it myself. And understanding the stage has actually helped me make sense of my own experiences, my stress, and even my relationships. I think it's pretty fascinating to see how research in psychology can explain what we're going through, and hopefully it will give you some insights as well. So today, I'll walk you through Erickson's theory on how stress, support, and culture play a role, and why all of this matters for our growth and overall well being. In Erickson's theory, it's all about the challenges we face at different stages of life. Each stage will ask a big question about who we are or how we relate to others. For adolescence and young adulthood, there are two stages I would like to focus on. One, identity versus role confusion. Two, intimacy versus isolation. In identity versus role confusion, this stage is about figuring out who we are and what we value, as well as what we want in life. Some days I can feel really confident about my goals, like I know exactly what I want to do. Other days I can feel pretty lost or unsure, and that can honestly be pretty overwhelming, but it is completely normal, and Erickson's theory explains why these ups and downs are a part of personal growth. Two, intimacy versus isolation. In this stage, it comes after identity. It's about forming meaningful relationships while staying true to yourself. Martell 2025 points out that the stronger your sense of identity is, the easier it is to connect with others without losing yourself. Personally, I notice that when I'm unsure about who I am, I can feel pretty hesitant to open up to people, even when it's my closest friends and family members. This really makes me realize how important self-understanding is for forming strong connections. A very important part of emerging adulthood is stress. College, work, and thinking about the future can be overwhelming. Matude, Fortes, and Garcia, 2020, found that stress and coping strategies directly affect mental health. Interestingly, women often report higher stress, showing that everyone's experience can be different no matter who you are. Support is critical. Friends, family, mentors, even professors, people who just listen and guide us can make a huge difference. I've noticed that when I have someone to talk to or get advice from, I feel 100 times more confident and calm, even in stressful situations, which isn't normal. But culture has also shaped us on how we experience this stage. Arnett 2015 explains that in individualistic culture like the US, young adults are encouraged to be more independent and explore different paths, while in collectivist cultures, family obligations and expectations play a bigger role. I see this in my own life when trying to balance personal goals and my family's expectations. It's quite difficult, but it's also helped me develop flexibility and perspective. I find it extremely fascinating to see how culture influences identity, how it influences our relationships, and how it even influences how we handle stress. Erickson's theory really resonates with me because it explains both what's happening inside my mind and how I relate to it with the world around me. For example, on days when I feel confident about who I am, I notice that my relationships feel soother and more genuine. On days when I'm more uncertain, I might feel hesitant or just feel anxious about opening up. Research also supports this as well. Nelson and Padilla Walker of 2018 found that young adults with a stronger sense of identity report better well-being and fewer mental health challenges. I can see this personally, especially when I feel secure in my identity, I handle stress better, and connect with people more easily. It really shows how internal development and social life are all connected together. To wrap it up, emerging adulthood is a stage full of challenges related to identity, stress, and relationships. Research by Matrell 2025, Matude 2020, and Nelson and Padilla Walker 2018 shows that having support, effective coping strategies, and understanding cultural influences can make this stage more manageable and even more rewarding. Erickson's theory reminds us that struggles are normal, and growing up isn't about being perfect. It's about learning, reflecting, and finding support along the way. In the future, it would be pretty interesting to study how social media affects identity and intimacy in young adults, which possibly could guide healthier ways to cope and build relationships. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope this gave you a clear sense of what emerging adulthood is all about and why it matters in psychology. Thank you guys.